Page 4. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. I go for refuge and am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dhamma, the Sangha. By my accumulations to the practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit sentient beings. Sanye Juda Soge Chonam Loi Chanchu Bardo Dane Gyab Sochi Dage Jinso Gebe Sona Chona Benjir Sanje Jubare Sho Sanye Juda Soge Chonam Loi Chanchu Bardo Dane Gyab Sochi Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Gyen Dola Benjir Sanje Jubare Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam Lo Chanjo Bardo Dane Yapsu She Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Benjir Sanje Jubare Sho Sanje Joda Zoge Jonam Lo Chanjo Bardo Dane Yapsu Che Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Lola Benjir Sanje Jubare Sho Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desh Gato Hyevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyevatat Tesham Chayo Nirodha Evam Bhati Mahashramanaye Swaha. The transitional mantra. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Okay, today we will read from page 213, 213. I'm going to quickly explain what this is about. This is a compilation of the pieces, excerpts from sutras and treatises for meditation on emptiness. And this compilation, and how the compilation came to being was that since the last almost 20, more than 20 years, maybe 21 years, since 21 years, His Holiness's teachings on emptiness, there I've been getting the materials which His Holiness has been the citing most of the times. I've been getting these materials, citing when His Holiness was giving public addresses, public teachings. So I was gathering these materials. So this is more of the the verses which His Holiness sometimes explicitly says that these are the verses that we remember, contemplate, and so forth. And sometimes the verses which His Holiness the cites during the teachings so often, I put them together. And later on, the more the extracts or pieces were taken from other sources. So this is many years of compilation. Page 213. And these are very beneficial, and if you truly feel that they're finally waking up from the sleep of ignorance to see that what I'm seeing is not reality, and that is the answer. If you get this feel strong, then how to make it even stronger is that if you can recite these by contemplating meanings as much as possible, gradually your mind is the mind is like the clay. Mind is like a clay. How you shape it, it entirely depends on how you shape this. So reading this will be a means to shape a mind to go in this direction. And then gradually you see that your mind, the true nature of mind is so beautiful, Buddha nature, and these will help us to shape the mind in such a way that the Buddha nature manifests. Okay, I'm going to quickly just explain the first verse, and the others I will not explain. I try to let us read this and see if the meanings are the what you can think of. And the first verse is basically is about some of the verses are about the benefits of the wisdom of emptiness. Some of the verses are about the actual emptiness. Some of the verses about the measure of having understood emptiness. So it is multiple facets compiled here. And the first part is about the benefit. So Buddha is comparing two bodhisattvas. One bodhisattva who became bodhisattva many eons ago, and yet deprived of the wisdom of emptiness. And then all these innumerable lifetimes, the bodhisattva accumulated so much merit. And meanwhile, somebody who generated bodhicitta, or who became a bodhisattva, just freshly, just new, and yet having the wisdom of emptiness. So the Buddha was comparing the merits accumulated by the two, and the Buddha said that the merits accumulated by the bodhisattva just freshly become bodhisattva with the wisdom of emptiness that far excels the wisdom accumulated by the bodhisattva without the wisdom of emptiness, but have been in the bodhisattva path for so long. So if this were the case, we see the importance, the need for us to try to cultivate the wisdom of emptiness for you, find it for your own benefit. So short-term, long-term benefit, and find to awaken your Buddha nature. This is the only way. Okay, and when we say this is the only way, don't just follow blindly and try to get some experience of what emptiness is like. Once you get it from your own experience, for example, when you're hungry, somebody says that the only way is eat something. Eat something. And then don't try to eat and see if it works. You eat and the hunger goes away, then you were confirmed that this is the only way. Without eating, praying to Buddha, Buddha, please remove my hunger. It will not remove the hunger. So you have to eat something. So likewise, to quell the disease of samsara, the fears, anger, and the deprivation of the joys and so forth, this is the answer, the wisdom of emptiness. And practice to see it if it works. If it doesn't work, you get it. If it doesn't work, discard it. If it works, why not be adopted? Okay, this is for your own well-being. Okay, so let's read this together. And dependent origination and emptiness, a compilation of excerpts from sutras and treatises for meditation on emptiness. Gift of Yudhratna Sutra. Manjushri, whoever listens even with doubt to this teaching on emptiness is much greater than a bodhisattva who, lacking skill in means, practices the six perfections for 100,000 eons. This being so, what need is there to say anything about a person who listens to this teaching without doubt? What need is there to say anything about a person who imparts the scripture in writing, memorizes it, and also teaches it thoroughly and extensively to others? The treasure of the One Thus Gone Sutra. Any person who, possessing all these 10 great known virtues, enters into the teaching of the selflessness and his faith and conviction that all phenomena are from the beginning pure of true existence, does not go to a bad rebirth. Chapter on Subduing Devil Sutra. If any bhikshu realizes that all phenomena are absolutely pacified of inherent existence, and the beginning of the defilements is devoid of self-nature, it will remove the guilt of having defilements and make unstable the defilements, thus deeming even the immeasurable negativities dysfunctional, led earlier the secondary wrongs done associated with ethics and rituals. There was 400 verses on the middle way. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this Dharma of ultimate reality. Should an inquiry ever arise in someone, it will shatter samsara into pieces. Acharya Dharmakirti's commentary on Vedic. One is liberated through the view of emptiness. The rest of the meditations are for the sake of that. Bodhisattva Shantideva's guided Bodhisattva way of life. All of these branches of practices were taught by the Buddha for the sake of wisdom. Therefore, those who wish to pacify suffering should generate this wisdom. Acharya Chandrakirti's entry in the middle way, verse 6.4. Even as an ordinary being, when hearing about emptiness, if one experiences with an utter joy again and again, tears flowing from such pure joy, motion in one's eyes and one's hair stands on end, one is the seed of the wisdom of full awakening. Okay, Rinpoche, Shodan Desha, 215. Upadi requested Sutra. The various delightful flowers blossom, and a sparkling supreme golden apple stands so alluring. For none of these is their creator. They are posited by the power of thought. It is through conceptualization that the world is imputed. Bhikkhuni Vajira's utterance in a fundamental way comes Sutra. The mind is demonic in which views the true self. You have a wrong view. These compositional aggregates are empty. There is no being in them. Just as one designates a card in dependence upon a collection of parts, so assert a conventional sentient being in dependence upon aggregates. Venerable Shavara's writings. Searching for the reality throughout space, one finds not the periphery nor the center. All perception cease completely. Likewise, through a thorough search of mind and phenomena, one finds not even an atom of essence. Since the searching mind is not found, not seeing anything is seeing the reality. Saint Sara's writings. By entering into emptiness but devoid of compassion, one will not find the supreme path. By meditating upon compassion alone, one will not attain liberation, but remain in samsara. The one capable of grasping the unity of the two will not remain in samsara nor abide in personal nirvana. So this is by Saint Saraha. Saint Saraha was the teacher of Arya Nagarjuna. And the Arya Nagarjuna, when he was born, the astrologers, they came out with the astrological prophecy that he will live for like 7 days. And his parents, ultra rich, and then they requested the astrologer what can be done to prolong the child's life. And the astrologers suggested that this puja, that puja, and so forth, generosity and so forth. This will extend from the, say, 7 days to 7 months. And then the 7 months about to pass, and then requested what can be done to extend the child's life. Then the astrologer again said, they say multiply, whatever they did before, multiply that with like hundreds of times, so large scale of generosity and so pujas and so forth. And then they said that the life will be extended for 7 years. So 7 years passed. And then they requested, the astrologer said, no, nothing can be done. Nothing can be done. So the parents, they become so desperate while they are very rich, but they could not withstand to see their child, who they love so much, dying in front of their eyes. So what they did was that they sent the child with the servant, with a maid or servant, take the child, and then whatever the requirement, the food and so forth, send with the maid, and just send it. And so just take the child wherever, so don't stay around us. When the child dies, then you come. So the Arya Nagarjuna, as a little boy, was taken away by the servant or the maid, and finally they ended up at the place of Saint Saraha. And Saint Saraha, just by seeing this child, he could see that this is a very different enlightened child, enlightened being. And Saint Saraha said that, where are you taking this child? And all the story was narrated. And Saint Saraha said, keep the child with me, don't worry. Then Saint Saraha, the empowered him with various empowerments, blessings, and so forth. And then Arinagarjuna lived for so people say lived eternally, but actually he lived a long life. Arinagarjuna lived a long life, and then all the books now were being discussed everywhere. The different Indian philosophical schools discuss his philosophy, Western philosophy discuss his philosophy, and the modern Buddhist practitioners, they see this as the second Buddha's teachings and then practice them, for example, for His Holiness, just by citing the label Nagarjuna, Arya Nagarjuna, His Holiness simply felt just in a different world system. So this is the influence of Arya Nagarjuna. So this Saint Saraha is Arya Nagarjuna's teacher. Okay, so with this in mind, and we talked about the two wings of the bird to cross the ocean samsara. One is the wing of compassion, is the other wing of wisdom. So this is exactly what Saint Sara taught here. So in the absence of one of the two wings, you cannot do anything. When the compassion is missing, the wing of wisdom will only take you to personal liberation. It will not make you to awaken your Buddha nature fully. So it's a partial awakening because compassion is missing. In other words, you will not enjoy the full awakening. Whereas with the compassion but without the wisdom, you will even not be liberated from samsara. You will travel in samsara. So, to be in the non-abiding nirvana, not abiding in the two extremes, extreme samsara and extreme of personal nirvana, that is known as non-abiding nirvana. That is the full awakening when you become a Buddha. So, we read this once more. By entering into emptiness, but devoid of compassion, one would not find the supreme path. Supreme path is a path to full awakening Buddhahood. By meditating upon compassion alone, without wisdom, one will not attain liberation from samsara, but remain in samsara. The one capable of grasping the unity of the two will not remain in samsara, nor abide in personal nirvana. King of Concentration Sutra. And just as in a dream of a young girl, she met with a boy and saw his death. Just was she at the meeting, and in anguish at his death, view all phenomena as thus. Arya Nagarjuna's fundamental wisdom middle way. Cease in karma's afflictions is nirvana. Karma's afflictions arise from conceptual thought. These arise from mental elaborations of grasping to existence. Elaboration ceases by or into emptiness. Neither the aggregates nor different from the aggregates. The aggregates don't depend on him, nor is he dependent on them. The Tathagata does not possess the aggregates. What is the Tathagata? That which dependent originates is posited to empty of independent existence. That being dependently designated is the middle way. Since there is no phenomenon that is not dependent originated, therefore there is no phenomenon that is not empty. Arya Nagarjuna's precious garland. If a person is not earth, not water, not fire, not air, not space, not also consciousness, and not all of them, whereas the person out of those. And just as a person is not truly existent because of being an aggregation of the six elements, each element also is not truly existent as the aggregations of their own constituents. Dharma Samgiti Sutra. Forms appear as a mass of form. Feelings resemble bubbles in water. And discrimination is like a mirage. Mental formations are like plantain trees. Consciousness is like a magical illusion. So taught Surya Mitra. Surya Mitra meaning Buddha. This is one of the epithets of Buddha. Arya Nagarjuna's commentary on the awakening mind. On those who understand this emptiness of phenomena, they are also conformed to the law of karma and its results. That is more amazing than amazing, that is more wondrous than wondrous. Adideva's founded verses on the middle way. When dependent arising is seen, ignorance does not occur. Thus, through all efforts, try to find the subject. His Holiness, the seven Dalai Lama's in shower feats, a song of the four mindfulnesses as a guide to the view of the middle way. At the crossroads of the six collections of consciousness that have diverse perceptions are seen the hazy dualistic phenomena which are baseless. There's a magical show that is by nature deceptive. Don't believe them to be true, but view them as having their nature emptiness. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it within the nature appearance. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within the nature appearance and emptiness. The sphere appearing in existing phenomena is pervaded by the space for ultimate clear light of suchness. There's an ineffable ultimate reality. View this nature emptiness through abandoned mental contrivances. Don't let your mind go astray, but place it within the ambience of reality. Through not losing mindfulness, hold it within the ambience of reality. His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama's prayer for proliferating the Dhamma of the land of snows. Venerable Marbalozawa, Shebe Dorji, and so on. So here Shebe Dorji refers to which is Milarepa, the one who attained full awakening enlightenment within a single lifetime. Venerable Marbalozawa, Shebe Dorji, and so on. The host of the precious Kagyu, the source of blessings, the chain of the unexcelled masters of this outstanding tradition, to you all I pray, may the Buddha Dharma of the land of snows blaze forevermore. All phenomena encompassing samsara and nirvana are but the radiance of spontaneous awareness. The awareness itself, devoid of elaborations, is realized in the nature of the Dharmakaya. Pervading all existences and appearances of samsara and nirvana is a great Mahamudra. May the Buddha Dharma of the land of snows blaze forevermore. Are Nigarjunas in praise of Dharmadadu. Impermanent, suffering, and empty, these three, they purify the mind. The Dharma that is unsurpassed and purify the mind is the lack of intrinsic nature. Concluding prayer from Lama Tsongkhapa's Ocean of Reasoning, our commentary on Arya Nigarjuna's fundamental wisdom of the middle way. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by their Manjushri and be able to uphold the Dharma in general and the teachings on particular independent origins, teachings on dependent origins in particular, even across my life. Shiri Heruga, Shiri Heruga, Shiri Heruga. He is the selflessness of phenomena, the emptiness of the mind, which is also everything as it is imputed by causal nature. Ru is the selflessness of person, the emptiness of self that is fabricated by the web of conceptual thought that grasps the self of person. Ka is the ultimate reality, the absence of dissonant duality to subject and object. Shri is the non-dual exalted wisdom that abides in congruence with the emptiness of the object. This is meaning of Evam. Okay, good. So usually for such retreats, more precisely retreats on emptiness, we read the section which we read now, this compilation. We read very often because that this is the huge collection, of course many years of effort, 20 years effort, and all coming from His Holiness's teachings on emptiness. So this is the like quintessence, the quintessence of everything, one. And also that why I read this here, although it's just once, that we hope to implant seeds within the mind, that it says that when you say, when we follow the path, gate, para, samgate, bodhisattva. So at the moment we are not going nowhere. So when it is the first path is known as path of accumulation, cholam. Second path is known as path of preparation, jorlam. Third one is known as path of seeing, tonglam. Fourth one is known as path of meditation. And the final one, number 5, path of no more learning. Okay, what's the first one? Path of accumulation. Number 2, path of preparation. Number 3, path of seeing. Number 4, path of meditation. Number 5, path of normal learning. So the first path, what is the first one? Path of accumulation, solemn. For the path of accumulation, again, it is split into 3. Small, middle, and great. It says that when you reach, okay, by the way, guess, anybody who can guess that it's not that in these 5 paths they are somewhere outside, that each one of us we can get into. So to get into, first we have to get to the first one. What is the mark of having entered into the first path? Anyone? What is the mark? Mark meaning, so what do we have to do to get to the first path? What is the requirement? Let's say that to take part in the retreat in Buddha, but the requirement is first you have to register. So likewise, what is the requirement that you are entitled to be in the first path of accumulation? Anyone? What do you think? Just guess. Siddhartha?
Huh? Okay, you have to sign. Okay, I'm on. Huh? Oh, that's quite a good guess. I'm quite impressed. Thank you. Okay, Joaji saying renunciation. David, what aspiration? Aspiration for cheesecake? Ah. Okay, so what Sudipta said is the sign, right? I'll practice. And then the David is saying aspiration for enlightenment. To learn somewhere? Where? Okay, I'm pleased. Thank you. Okay, Bodhicitta. Okay, look, so becoming better, better, better. Okay, this is the most refined. So, Bodhicitta's aspiration, and aspiration is signing up. I will. You get it? I will. I will become Buddha. So, sign to make it more refined. Aspiration, and what exactly is which? What aspiration? Aspiration of enlightenment, which is Bodhicitta. So it's same. It's same. So anytime it's not necessary that you should have a wisdom emptiness. Even without wisdom, they say the moment you generate the bodhicitta, may I become Buddha for the benefit of sentient beings, and that too, it is not just one time. It's a spontaneous experience. Spontaneous experience. Don't wait for the spontaneous. You keep practicing, keep practicing. Gradually, it becomes spontaneous. Anytime it becomes spontaneous, at that point you enter into the first path. So this is the thing. Now, why I'm sharing this is that within the first path, which is split into three: small, middle, and the great. So why we are reading this, for example, this, as I said, the quintessence of the teachings on emptiness, what we read thus far, the compilation, the quintessence, means the essence of the essence, quintessence. So this, why we're reading this, with the hope that when you reach, whenever in future, when you generate when you enter the path, the first one, path of accumulation, and then the path of accumulation is small, middle, and great. When you reach the great, it says that you will attain a meditative concentration known as meditative concentration of retention. Meditative concentration of retention. Retention of the continuum, technically speaking, it is the meditative concentration of the retention of the continuum of Dharma. Let me repeat it. In Tibetan, it is known as Chukyun Gitinginzen. Chugyun Gitingenzen. Meditative concentration of the retention of the Dharma. Meaning that what have you learned, what have you heard of the Dharma, when you reach that level, the path of accumulation, the third, the grade of the path of accumulation, all will you will just have a photographic memory. What have you heard before, they will just flash out like the photographic memory. Some people have a photographic memory. Amazing. Amazing. Say, so therefore, for example, like some people, they precisely remembers the dates, the details. I remember there's man, one man, I don't know which country, maybe America, one man who was just taken on helicopter ride for 10 minutes to see the whole city. And then he's given the whole wall, big wall, to sketch the whole city. He will sketch everything. Just in 10 minutes, he just looks around the city, and then given a wall with this sketch, he will sketch the whole city there with the details. It's amazing. This is known as photographic memory. So when you reach that level, part of accumulation, the great part of accumulation, you will have a photographic memory of the Dharma you have learned. So precious. So therefore, in this life, whatever we can learn of the Dharma, about emptiness, about Bodhisattva, if you can do that as much as possible, all are implanted in the form of seed. For example, what? The Facebook, or what is that, WhatsApp and so forth, there's the Googles, where you say whatever, you send message and so forth, it says that it's not erased fully. You know that? It's not erased fully. You think you erase it. You erase it, but somehow the record is left, the imprint is there, and anybody can retrieve it. You know that? Okay, so this is exactly how the mind works. So what you read, what you learn, the ingrained, and then maybe in the next life, or say till your end of your life, you may not be able to read this once again, but the imprint is there. So when you reach that great part of accumulation, then this will be all retrieved. And they say you have the clairvoyance to remember your past life. And you can remember, oh, I read this many eons ago, once when we were having the small retreat in Bodhisattvas Center. I read it many lives ago. So this is what the Buddha recalled, his many past lives. Okay, so good. Now we will do the 4 essentials to establish emptiness. So in a way, we are prepared. We're prepared because that to do the 4 essentials to establish the emptiness is not that easy. But since that we have already talked about emptiness and the various aspects of this already for the last 4 or 5 days, so it's easier for us now. Okay, so in the first place, the Bodhisattva, I think it was the Mr. Ashiji. Mr. Ashiji, he talked about the 400 verses. 400 verses, that is the text, is the title for the text, and is available in English. And the translation is beautiful. It's a very good translation, translated by the one Israeli lady, and who spent whole her life in Dharma in Dharamsala. And she's a brilliant translator. So I think it was Chola Samala when he was organizing this big program of His Holiness. How many people attended? All public. About 4 lakh people attended the program. And it's a big program. And His Holiness is on Sri Kalachakra teaching. So every time such empowerments were given, His Holiness would give a preliminary teaching. So at that time, His Holiness chose Nagarjuna's text, the 5 selected topics, chapters, chapter 1, 18, 22, 24, and 26. These are the 5 chapters His Holiness selected to be taught as a preliminary teaching before the Kalachakra teaching. Then so I was translating for the English. I was doing the translation, and I had to prepare the text. Okay, that was the Kalachakra. And then later, I think it was the 400 verses to be taught in Switzerland. And I did not have, of course, in the first place, my translation. If I were to translate, I'm not a native English speaker, and I'm not trained as a translator. I'm not brought up in a, say, very strong English background. So therefore, it's very basic. I cannot really expect to, so I rather need a ready-made translation of the 400 verses, which His Holiness was to teach in Switzerland. And I was too naive then, that I was expecting that, any translation, it should be good. And then, but still I have to prepare. I have to prepare the text, English, Tibetan, I have to correlate, and I've got a translation of 400 verses. And I have to do a little bit of self-study so that it'll be easy for me to translate on the actual event. Then comparing the Tibetan English, it was a disaster. translation was so erroneous, so many mistakes. It's better to retranslate rather than use that. I just skipped that. And then I started to become very doubtful, very skeptic with the translations. Then I was inquiring my friends, but still I cannot translate. And then I inquired. And what my friends suggested, this funded the text translated by uh, Ruth Sonam, the one who has been serving in LTWA for many years as a translator, translating for her teacher, the most venerable Geshe Son Rinchen, amazing teacher, greatly enlightened, amazing. I truly have a deep respect for this teacher. And she was translating for her, and I was very skeptic. Okay, now I will check. Now I'll not take it blindly that this is a good translation. And particularly I picked up, because that I cannot again go through all the pieces of the translations. I picked up one very complicated part, which unless you understand the concept, you cannot translate it. You translate it, you are bound to make mistakes. So I picked that up and checked how good the translation. I was amazed. So she just got the precise concept. I was so happy. I said, okay, now I don't look at the other translation. This is the translation. Then later I come to really appreciate her translations. Her knowledge is so good. So the book that I'm talking about, 400 verses, by Bodhisattva Aryadeva, the disciple of Arya Nagarjuna. This translation, published by, there are many translations of the same book, but translated by Ruth Sonam. Ruth, R-U-T-H. Ruth Sonam. This is a very good translation. And there are many books by this teacher, Venerable Geshe Sonam Rinchen. There are many books by him translated by Ruth. So I would say that all the books by this teacher, they are highly recommendable. I would highly recommend you to if you get these books, they're very reliable. Otherwise, translation-wise problem, concept-wise problem, even the teachers, their concept may not be too deep, can be very shallow. That is a good problem. And then the next is a translation. Translation can be very erroneous. Even the translators, they may not be knowing the concept well, and then they translate in a wrong way or in a shallow way. Okay, so with this in mind, the 400 verses there, which we read already, Bodhisattva Aryadeva, the student disciple of Arya Nagarjuna, what is said is that those with less merit, in 400 verses, this is one of the verses, those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching on emptiness. Should even a doubt arise in a person, it will shatter samsara into pieces. Let me repeat it. Those with less merit will not even have a doubt in this teaching. Okay, what is this teaching? Emptiness. What is this? You may not even feel this nihilism, nihilist, idealist. Then you just got the brushes aside. This is the indication of less merit. The person does not have merit. Whereas, if you truly feel some doubt meaning some kind of the inquiries, inquisitiveness, what is talking about? And there's a feeling of deep feeling of joy coming in you. What is this talking about? Emptiness. What is that? With so much of affinity, when that happens, this is an indication that your samsara is going to be shattered into pieces, which means that your samsara is going to go away. You're going to stop the tears of samsara. This is what is taught there. So, having said this, this very extremely meritorious for us that we are talking about emptiness, wisdom of emptiness. This is only hope for our freedom from samsara. This is only hope. And there are many other practices which are to enhance this, which are to enrich this. And then even the Tantra, without the emptiness concept, Tantra makes no sense. Perhaps it can become like your destroyer. It can destroy you. But only with emptiness, then it makes sense. And that too, not just emptiness, you should have a tremendous faith, respect, reverence, and all your virtues must be just at the peak, at the peak of the maturation. Then you're entitled for the tantric practice, otherwise not. It can destroy you. It can destroy you, destroy others. Okay, so whereas when we are not ready, the amount of faith and these things, they're missing. That's a problem. So therefore, usually what I say is that some people, one time, we had the retreat in the, I think, Tushita or Deer Park, I'm not too sure. After the retreat at the airport, one of the retreatants was also, they happened to be coming on the same flight, and we were on the airport together. And then I just casually asked him, what's your plan next? He said that I'm going to America. Reason? He said, I'm going to study Mool Madhyamika Karika. Mool Madhyamika Karika means Origingation text. I said, why are you going to America? He said, that expert in Mool Madhyamika Karika is in America. Who is that? And he said, name. I'm not going to tell the name. He said, name. I know that person. He's not expert. I know that person. I told him, do you want fame or you want the real Mool Madhyamika Karika? What do you want? If you want a fame, go to America. Oh, I went to from this university, that university, this professor, and so forth. But if you really want to know Origingation thoughts, there is not a place. Go to South India. The brilliant giants, brilliant giants, top-notch, brilliant masters are there. They don't speak English. You have to put effort to get a good translator. You learn from them. Whereas you want fame, go to America. I told him. Because I know that person. And that person, what he did, he received teachings from Mool Madhyamika Karika from my teacher. He was receiving teaching for the first time from my teacher in the morning, and afternoon he's writing his own commentary. You're getting it? And this book came out. And he's the master of, who's the expert. He's the expert of Mool Madhyamika Karika. This is how people fooled. So therefore, the point is that particularly when it comes to ourselves, like even the study of Mool Madhyamika Karika, even the study of Dorji, even the study of the Emptiness and so forth, why are you studying? Don't forget it. If you want to just know intellectually, and you're not interested in practice, you're not interested in liberation and so forth, then you can take any help of any professors. Whereas if that is for the purpose of you to stop the tears, make sure that the teacher that you're seeking is not just a professor with this spiritual bent of mind. Because there are many professors who are so academic, who are so dry, intellectual academic, who have something to say, they don't practice. How do you know that? These people, they're extremely judgmental. They will just pull down others. They will talk bad about other people. They will try to promote themselves. These are the people. This is a problem. So therefore, if you want to learn just for the sake of academic success, then go to these professors. Whereas if you really want to stop the tears, if you want to use this to stop the tears, stop the pains, and help others also stop the tears, this life, future life, then you have to seek somebody who really believes in this Origingation philosophy. This is very important. Okay, so with this in mind, even with some the Western scholars, there are some who are extremely good spiritual teachers. For example, Professor Jeffrey, he's amazing. Professor Thurman, he has a great sense of spirituality, he's amazing. But there's some, dry, intellectual, and then the faith path, is totally missing. That is where you can also become one like that. It's very dangerous. So to make sure that when you go into this direction, if the purpose is very clear in your mind to stop the tears of samsara, then you have to seek, the help of the people, of the teachers, whatever, who believe in these teachings. Of course, learn it,
experienced and who believe in these teachings, who practice this themselves. Okay, so with this in mind, the four essentials, we'll do it very quickly. The reasoning to establish emptiness. Okay, the reasoning of four essentials to establish emptiness. The reasoning of four essentials to establish emptiness. The reasoning of four essentials to establish emptiness. Okay, first we identify the four essentials. One, identifying the essential of identifying the object of negation. The essential of identifying the object of negation, number one. Number two, essential of understanding the pervasion. Okay, those of us who have been attending these retreats many times, like Joshua and Carl and Dorji, so you may think that what I'm doing here is slightly different. Actually, it's not different, it's same, but making it simpler. Okay, what's the first essential? Essential of identifying the object negation. Number two, essential of understanding the pervasion. Number three, the essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsic. Okay, how to put it in a better English? Okay, Carl, tell me, how do you put it? How I put it? Emptiness of oneness. You remember, Joshua? Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsic one with its parts. Okay, good. Okay, number three, the essential, what is number one? Essential of identify object of negation. Number two, essential of understanding the pervasion. Number three, essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects, object, apostrophe, and S, objects, emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Let me repeat it. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. And then finally, essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. So the first, number three is one, number four is different. The rest remain the same. Number four, essential for understanding the emptiness of the objects being, it is just the same as number three, just change one and different. Number four is essential for understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Okay, anybody who needs title? On the reasoning of four essentials, the reasoning of four essentials to establish emptiness. The reasoning of four essentials to establish emptiness. The first, the essential of identifying the object of negation. Number two, essential of understanding the pervasion. Number three, essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. And finally, the essential of understanding the emptiness of objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Okay, now let us go one by one. Ready? Okay, is there anybody who wants me to repeat? Priyanka done? Priyanka done? Not done. Which one? One. Number one, essential of identifying the object of negation. Object of negation. Negation. Essential of identifying the object of negation. 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 Anyone else? Leon? Done? Which one? Number two. Number two, number three.
Number two. Okay, number one, essential for identifying the object of negation. Number two, essential for understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. Shall I repeat it? Number two. Okay, oh, sorry, you are right. Yes, sorry. Okay, Leon, thank you. Number one, object identify, the essential of identify object negation. Number two, essential of understanding the pervasion. You want to know it? Pervasion. Pervasion. Okay, what is this? Don't bother to explain it. Done. Ajsinsila. Done. Jabi. Done. Dojla. Dojla since a long time ago. Yes. Okay. Kokil, long time ago. Oh yeah. Ajsinsila. Done. Sonamla by heart. Nice. Physicists, they are very happy. These technical aspects, they are very happy. The easy one said not too happy. Yeah. Okay. So first, identify the object of negation. Sudipta, done. Good. Huh? Good. Very good. Number two. Good. Number three. Perfect. Number four. Intrinsically. That is number three. Number four. Okay, number four, I'll say this once more. The essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Essential of understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically different from its parts. Sudeshna, done? Good. Okay, good. And Vinay, done. Good. Okay. Joyji, done. Okay. Devdangshu and Ashiji, good. Okay. Now okay, let's say the first one, object of the essential of understanding the object negation. So okay, Vinay, you tell me. I'm going to make a statement and you tell me is correct or not correct. And I have no ser in my pocket. I have no ser in my pocket. Correct, not correct? I have no ser. Repeat it, ser. Yes, I have no ser in my pocket. Correct, not correct statement? S-E-R, ser. Yes. No, it's simple. Just say yes or not. Good. You have to ask me, what's the meaning of ser? You're getting it? If you don't know what the ser is, I said that I have no. No means I negate. Negate means you reject. I reject the presence of ser in my pocket. What is ser? Ser is a gold. Ser is a Tibetan word for gold. Gold and silver. Gold. So I have no gold in my pocket. Look. Correct, not correct? Correct. But when I said I have no ser in my pocket, you don't understand, because to say there's no meaning negate. To negate the presence of ser, you have to know what the ser is. If you don't know ser, you cannot negate it. You understand it? So therefore, when we say object of negation, which means that, okay, when I say there's no ser in my pocket, what is negated? Said is negated. Said is gold. Gold is negated. The presence of gold is negated in my pocket. The presence in my pocket is negated. Presence of gold in my pocket is negated. You getting it? So what's object negation? The gold in my pocket. The gold is not negation. Gold is not the object negation because gold exists in the world. But gold in my pocket is negated. So what's object negation in this case? Gold in my pocket. So likewise, we say that the Buddhapada does not have a tiger. What is object negation? Anyone? Presence of tiger in Buddhapada is the object of the negation in this context. You getting it? So when you talk about emptiness, emptiness means empty. You're negating something. You're negating something. Oh, the glass is empty of water. Glass empty of water. What is in the object negation? Presence of water in the glass, or water in the glass is negated. Water is not negated. Water in the glass is negated. Water cannot be negated because water outside is plenty available. So water in the glass is negated. Okay, so when we say this glass is not permanent, what is negated? The glass being permanent is negated. Priyanka, you got it? Okay. Priyanka is not in Buddhapada permanently. What is negated? Priyanka being permanently in Buddhapada is negated. Very good. This glass is not truly real. What is negated? The truly existence of the glass is negated. This glass does not exist objectively. What is object negation? This glass does not exist objectively. What is negated? Objective existence of the glass is object negation. Very good. Okay, so when we say emptiness of the glass, emptiness of glass doesn't mean glass is empty, glass is non-existent. Emptiness of glass means that the glass, the full form is glass is empty of objective existence. So what is the object of negation? What's the object negation of the emptiness of glass? Objective existence of the glass is the object negation of the emptiness of the glass. You getting it? Very good. Okay, so now tell me, if somebody would ask you, what is the object negation of emptiness? You're talking about empty all the time, emptiness all the time, by Aranigarjuna. What is negated? Sonam. When you talk about emptiness, what is negated? Existence of objective reality, or just put it simply as objective existence. Objective existence is negated. Next question. What does it mean by objective existence? Anyone? What does it mean by objective? Leon. Very good. Some they say, what is the objective existence of flower? What do you mean by objective existence of flower? That flower exists independently. That is the meaning of objective existence. Very good. Okay, anyone else? So the same understanding, the meaning of objective existence can be presented, can be represented in different forms. Okay, anyone else? What do you understand by objective existence? Leon said objective existence is something existing independently. Anyone else? What is meant by objective existence? What do you understand by objective existence? Javi? Let's say the flower, does it exist objectively? My question is, what does it mean by meaning of the objective existence of the flower? Anyone else? What's the meaning of objective existence of flower? Okay, the Sudipta? Objective existence is subject to these two opposites. So what is the meaning of objective existence of the flower? Objectively existing. What do you mean by objectively? Non-changeable or changeable? Okay, changeable. Something which exists independent, irrespective of the subject, independent of the subject. Very good. Leon. Something which exists permanently. Okay, this also, this, but now Leon has come with this second opinion. Anyone else? Other object or of the mind? Objectively as opposed to? Objectively as opposed to? Object, subject, in the opposite. As objective means something existing independent of the subjective. Objective existence means something which exists was the opposite of objective, subjective. Something which exists independently of the subjective imputation. Okay. So for this, what I'd like to share with you is there is what is known as to understand the object negation. If you don't understand, if you don't get the object negation too precisely, there's a problem. You will never get emptiness. Let me repeat it. If you don't identify the object negation too precisely, you will never get emptiness. For example, let's say I said, there's no cell in my pocket. Okay, let's say the okay, Vinay, there's no Dorji palam in my pocket. There's no Dorji palam in my pocket. Correct, not correct? Correct. Dorji palam. No, just ask me. Dorji palam is silver. Correct. Okay. So now let's see. Look. What did I say? Dorji palam is silver. So now when I say, if he understands Dorji palam to mean silver, when he said there's no Dorji palam in my pocket, his mind, what will come? Silver is not in his pocket, but Dorji palam means diamond, is not silver. You getting it? So you don't identify it precisely, you identify something else. Therefore, you will not understand the actual meaning of emptiness of Dorji palam. You're getting it? So therefore, to identify object negation precisely, if you don't identify it precisely, say this is a middle way. If you identify something this side, you will not get emptiness. If you identify this side, you will not get emptiness. So therefore, you have to precisely get the object negation. You getting it? Okay. So what are the two? To know this precise understanding, we have to know the two extremes. Two extremes, one is known as maximalist redundancy. The one extreme is known as maximalist redundancy. Other extreme is known as minimalist inadequacy. Maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. Inadequacy. Maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. So these are two extremes. So what is meant by maximalist redundancy? For example, let's say that you maximalist redundancy and minimalist inadequacy. Minimalist inadequacy. Okay. Say you are the interviewer, and you are interviewing somebody for the position of His Holiness's Chief Security Guard, and you are the interviewer. Ashish, you are the interviewer, and you interview somebody who is applying for the which position? Not security guard, Chief Security Guard. You're getting it? Okay, Chief Security Guard. And you say that, and you create a scenario for that person, and that person should be smart enough to do according to information that you give. And you say that, for example, if you get information from somebody saying that within the next 1 month a terrorist can come to His Holiness's place. So what will you do? If you ask this to the candidate, and the candidate replies that for the next 1 month, I will stop all the visitors to His Holiness. I'll stop all the visitors. So when you stop all the visitors, the terror is going to be stopped or not stopped? Use your common sense. If you stop all the visitors, terrorists are stopped or not stopped? Hey, Pringa, stopped or not stopped? Yes. So terrorists are stopped. So Ashish, now you tell me, is this a good approach of the security person or not? All the visitors are stopped. Good or not good? Why not? He succeeded in stopping the terrorist. Why is not a good choice? Why is not a good, they say, the job? Why is not good work that he did? Why? Anyone? Okay, David, yes. Huh? You tell me, what's wrong with this? Huh? Why? But for 1 month, stop. Okay, I agree with David. Yes. Okay, now the Vinay. No, it doesn't matter. It's just for one temporary solution. It's just 1 month. Terrorist, after 1 month, he cannot stay, right? So 1 month, you have to stop him. Is it good work done or not good work done? Okay, anyone else? Okay. Ashish ji seems to be a very cautious interviewer. He's not happy, but he's not telling why he's not happy. And David is too excited. There's too many solutions coming up. Kokil? Not good job. Not good work. Why not? Okay. Okay, Shrikant? Not good work. Why not? Okay, I know that all of you have, some unease that this is not good work, not good work done, but you may be wondering why. Yes, Sonam. Huh? Of course, it's a temporary situation. So therefore, temporary solution is fine. What's wrong? Huh? What's the root of problem? Okay, you have to stop the zone. So this 1 month issue, you can do for like maybe say do for let's say X amount of money, do with X amount of expenses, and you can stop it. And to uproot the terrorists, you have to spend billions of dollars. You getting it? This is not cost effective. Okay, Sudipta. Huh? No, influence is correct. Influence is correct. Huh? So, Vinay, why do not apply for the Buddha Pada program online? No, what I'm saying is that there's a difference, right? Online and offline, there's a difference. So with his own, it's even bigger difference. Okay. So what I agree with, let's say, David, that for example, say Obama and His Holiness, two of them, there are many things in common. And if they even had discussions how to save the humanity. So two of them had a good discussion. And one day Obama comes and said that the I'm going to have a meeting to discuss with His Holiness on this matters. No, you cannot come. No visitors allowed, right? So therefore you reject more than what is required to be rejected. You reject not only the bad person, you also reject good people. This is totally the what unwise. So you reject more. Maximalist redundancy is redundant. Rejecting Obama, good people is redundant. This not be rejected. This is not good. Why is that? This known as you rejected maximum. You rejected more than what is required. Maximalist redundancy. Okay. Now, if you say that the if you say that and within 1 month you stop on, let's say you stop only the, let's say, the males, only the males, or terrorists, they are males, you stop the males, right? Then is it wise? Not wise. Not wise, because terrorists can be male, female, both. First or female come, this is a disaster. So therefore you could not stop, you stopped less than what is required. You stopped less than what is required. Minimalist inadequacy. What you stop is inadequate. It's not adequate. Minimalist inadequacy. So you identify object negation more than what is required is a problem. You fall into nihilism. You reject less than what is required, you fall into absolutism. You fall into two extremes. You're getting it? So therefore you have to identify object negation very precisely. And it'll take time. It's not that easy. It's not that easy. So we have to study what is meant by object negation, objective existence. You learn about it, you try to reject it, and then feel it, discuss, read more, and then even identifying the object negation will become better. It's not that easy. It's not like just today you'll do that identifying the object negation, and then from tomorrow you will do the number 2, 3, 4. No, it does not work like, in reality it does not work like this. So you keep on improving. Because your experience deepens, then identify object negation also becomes better and better, more and more refined. Okay. So let's say that like the dream contents. In the dream you see them as real. When you wake up, you see them as just coming from the subject, not real, not objective real. So in a way, the objective negation to be negated is something which objectively exists, but is independent of the subjective imputation. That is how it should be understood. Now, how do we reject that? How do we reject the objective existence? How do we reject that? Let's say that we succeeded in identifying object negation so well. So let's say that, say, rejecting the object negation, say that somebody said that, let's say I have 2 rooms. I have 2 rooms, and somebody says that a burglar has entered your room. You are keeping the burglar with you, right? How many rooms I have? Only 2 rooms. Now I have room A, room B. I said, no, your statement is wrong. It's not true. I don't have a burglar with me. So I open the first room. It's empty. There's no burglar. Then it may be in the second room. You open the second room also. It's empty. First room is empty, no burglar. Second room, no burglar, which means I've proven that these are only 2 possibilities. If the burglar is with me in my room, it should be only in one of these 2 rooms. So the burglar's presence, pervasion. What's the second, Leon? What's the second essential, Leon? Understand the pervasion. Pervasion meaning if the burglar exists in my room, There are only two possibilities. Pervasion, it pervades in these two rooms. It should pervade in these two rooms, meaning it should exist in these two rooms. And if your proof is wrong, then they say the room A is empty, no burglar. No, room B, empty, no burglar, means this is pervasive. This is pervasion that the burglar being in my room is proven wrong. Burglar in my room is proven wrong because if it does exist, it should pervade in these two places. Since it doesn't pervade in these two places, so the main pervasion that it is in my room is proven to be flawed. Because this is the pervasion, how the pervasion works. So these are only two possibilities. Likewise, if, okay, let's say that the flower, how does the flower appear to you? Objective real or subjective real? Dojila. As objective real, it appears as objective real. Now, not only it appears objective real, we believe that it appears objective real. That belief is self-grasping ignorance. Now, how do we evaluate this? How do we evaluate this? Okay, let's put it like this. Say that from distance you are seeing me in water. Say you are half a kilometer away from me and you are seeing me in water. And the Sudhita is wondering, is he really in water or what I'm seeing is a mirage? Okay, Sudhita, how will you evaluate? Say you are half a kilometer away from me and you are seeing me in water. And you're wondering, am I really? Okay, go closer to the place. How many agree with Sudipta resents? We all agree with her. Okay. The Sudeshna, you agree? You don't agree? Hey, Sudeshna, why not? Kilometer. Why? It's complete information. I gave you the complete information. I said that you are half a kilometer away from me, number one. Number two, you're seeing me in water. Two. Number three, you're wondering if he's really in water or what you're seeing is a mirage. Three pieces of information. Now, my next question is, how do you evaluate whether I'm in water or what are you seeing as a mirage? How do you evaluate? As simple as that. Okay, how many agree with Sudipta that to see whether it's a mirage or it's a water, I go closer to my place where the water appears. What appeared where I'm standing. So you should come closer. Coming closer, you see it's dry. Then you conclude what? You conclude that what you earlier saw was a mirage, is not real. So mirage is, it appears, objectively appears as water, but in reality is subjectively created as water. There's no water, it's subjectively imputed. You getting it? Okay. So this is what Arinigarjuna taught. Arinigarjuna taught, if the mirage is water, why not those close by the mirage see water? So likewise, if the flower exists objectively, why don't we see the flower as we go closer to its object? You getting it? Now we have to go closer to the object. Going closer to objects, if the flower exists objectively, there are only two possibilities. If the burglar is in my rooms, is with me, there are only two rooms. So if the burglar's presence in the two rooms are ruled out, if you prove that the burglar is not present in the two rooms, it rules out the burglar's presence in my room. You agree? Likewise, for the flower, if it does exist objectively, there are only two ways to exist objectively. What are they? Go closer to the object. Go closer to the object. By the way, my question to you is this flower, if you go closer to the object, which of the two minds succeed in going closer to the object. Your eyes from distance or the electron microscope, which could see the flower more closely. Electron microscope. Okay, so looking at it through electron microscope, you must watch it. You must Google search it. You Google search the powers of 10. Write it down. The powers of 10. Just Google search the power. Not now. Later, you can write it down. The powers of 10. Meaning the same size multiplied by 10 times. Further multiplied by 10 times. Multiplied 10 times. It goes like 1,000 times. Now, so this you will see there are many versions of this done by the NASA company. They did it. And there are many versions. I would suggest you to check all. This will give you a better picture. And one of them has some of them have it that you go zoom in to see the atomic level. You zoom out to see the whole universe. Zoom out and zoom in, it does both. It's done by NASA company electron microscope. To zoom in. To zoom out, initially it was done by some magnifying glass. And later on, then it's more speculation. When it goes to the level of the what is that? The level of the let's say, the multi galaxies, not just one galaxy, multi galaxies, then I think it's more speculative. What they did is more speculative, more like drawings. And then the whole universe, of course, they did not do the whole universe. Okay, so this you have to watch. You must watch the powers of 10. But the focus should be on, for the emptiness, the focus should be on the zooming in. Zooming in, then going with the electron microscope. Zooming in, this is what we need to do. So with this in mind, what we do is that the first, one of which is that it's just like a tiny leaf in the bush. A bush in America, maybe Florida, most likely in Florida. In a bush, it just picked up one leaf, the standard size, one leaf, and then it zooms in. It zooms in to see the leaf which otherwise looks so tender, texture-wise very smooth, and you zoom in, you start to see the cracks, like the clay, dry clay, like the cracks. Cracks are actually the demarcation of the cells, cell membranes. Then further zoomed in, you see the nucleus, and nucleus is so prominent. Further zoomed in, you see the chromosomes. Chromosomes like the brownish striped snake-like structures. And further zoom in, you see the DNA molecules, the DNA halifax and the DNA molecules. And further zoom in, you see the atoms. So then further zoomed in, then it goes to the nucleus, and it says that beyond this is the scientific imagination. This is what it said. So till atom it can go, and then the protons they just show like the nucleus, but the protons and the neutrons just mix up like this, and beyond this is the scientific imagination. Okay, so this will be very helpful. And at the moment we are seeing a flower, but through this electron microscope, you start to see the cells, the nucleus, the chromosomes, the DNA molecules, atoms, just stay in the atomic level. And not an atomic level, where's the flower? The flower disappears. Now the question is, where was that flower which you earlier saw? Likewise, just as we checked, where was that water which you earlier saw? Oh, it was not there. It was a mirage, which means I saw, but it's not really there. Likewise, where was the flower which you earlier saw, it was not there. It was just like mirage. I saw that from distance, but nearby there's no flower. So the flower is empty from its object. Objectively, is empty. Now, the flower does exist objectively. There are only two possibilities. If the rover is with me, there are only two possibilities in room A or room B. Likewise, if the flower does exist objectively, there are only two possibilities. One is atoms should be the flower. Or remove the atoms, there should be the flower left there. Which is true? Atoms are the flower, or remove the atoms and there's a flower. Which of the two is true? Okay, atoms are flower. Atoms are not beautiful. Flowers very beautiful. Okay. By the way, Japi don't like flower. It's not a crazy out of flower, right? Whatever you answer la. Huh? You love flower. So. That's interesting. In Kalimpong, I'm discovering many new things. Okay, Tiptangshu. You like flowers? It's very funny. Usually I see the girls love flower, boys don't love flower. In Kalimpong it's opposite. The boys love flower, girls don't love flower. And usually in all my teachings, the ratio of the girls and the boys is like 1:5. Generally, average, 1 boy and 5 girls. In one time, I was amazed. Here is 1 girl and 7 boys. It's just opposite. I know, this very different world. You come here to this, you come here, look at this vegetation. It's so beautiful. It's so like it's a different world. It's amazing. Okay. So what we see is that there are only two possibilities. Either the atom should be the flower, or remove the atoms, say should be the flower is different from the atoms. Which of the two is the flower? Which of the two is the flower? Okay, Ashiji. Which is the two is flower? Atoms of the flower, or the remove the atoms and they should be a flower different from the atoms? Which is correct? None is correct. How many agree with Ashish? Raise hands. Good. None. Which means atoms where you're gone too close to the object. Atoms not flower. Flowers very beautiful. Atoms are not beautiful. And remove the atoms, there's no flower different from the atoms also. So therefore, say atoms are not the flower. Objectively, the atoms are not the flower. Objectively, flower and atoms, these two are not one. Meaning atoms are not identified as objectively, intrinsically as the flower. If you understand this, you understood the third essential. What is the third essential? What is the third essential? Essential for understanding the emptiness of the objects being intrinsically one with its parts. The parts and the flower, these two are not one, meaning the parts are not one in the eyes of the ultimate analysis. Now, if the parts are not the one, remove the parts to see if the flower exists is different from the parts. Remove the elements, remove the atoms. Where's the flower? No flower. So it's not one with the parts, no different from the parts. So then these are only two possibilities. If the flower exists objectively, these are the only two possibilities. When these two possibilities are rejected, where's the flower from the object? From the object is nowhere. Objectively is nowhere. Okay. So if you understand this, from objectively, there is nothing. You have understood. You have understood meaning is just a very simple. It's too simplistic to say that. It's not that easy. You may get some idea that okay, objectively there's no flower. It's more at the moment. It's more intellectual. It's more intellectual. When the experience comes, initial just a glimpse comes, a tinge of fear can come, and goosebumps can come. And these are all, I'm not saying this from my experience, these are all what the great teachers indicated in the books. Goosebumps can come. Very tranquil feeling can come at the core of your heart. So these experiences are indicated. So the point is that so this is where okay, before this, I'd like to quickly share with you. Okay, very quickly. What is in this glass? You will see water. And some will say a bunch of atoms. And who's correct? Both are correct. Both are correct. But say you see as water. When you see as water, you don't see the atoms. When you see the atoms, you don't see the water. The two perceptions are very different. Not only the perceptions are different, your emotional reactions also different. When you're thirsty, you see the water, you feel like drinking. When you're thirsty, when you see as atoms, you don't feel like drinking. Emotional reactions very different. So, with the same object, you perceive two different things. How many agree with me? Raise hands. Okay. Now, which of the two perception tallies closer to the reality, closer to the object? Seeing is a bunch of atoms or seeing is as water? Which tallies closer to the object? Seeing these atoms or seeing as water? Water you can see from distance, but atoms you need a very fine electron microscope. You getting it? So which of the two perception is closer to the reality? Negative eyes or the electron microscope? Naked eyes is more reality. Okay, that's interesting. Okay. From distance you see forest. You go into the forest, you don't see the forest. You see the individual trees. Which of the two see the object more closely? From distance or from nearby? From nearby. Likewise, the naked eye seeing what is in the glass. Electron microscope seeing what is in the glass. Which is nearer? Which is more close? Microscope, of course. Microscope. So therefore, you will say that both perceptions are correct. You agree? Both perceptions are correct, but how they perceive is very different. Very different. So we say that what you said is correct. Both are correct. But if both are correct, why you are seeing the one thing very differently? Very different. This question. So it is an indication that whatever you are seeing is not from the object, it's come from the subject. Depending on what subject, from distance you see one thing as water, from close by you see as a bunch of atoms. As simple as that. So, but this, from distance, the mind which sees the object from distance is known as conventional analysis. The mind which sees the object from distance is known as conventional analysis. The mind which sees things from close by is known as ultimate analysis. Now, say, when you use electron microscope to see this, you don't see the water. Don't say the water is not there. Because water exists or not is not decided by the ultimate analysis. Because water is a conventional truth. What is a conventional truth? It should be seen by the conventional analysis. Ultimate analysis, not seeing the water, doesn't mean the water doesn't exist. Let me repeat this, very important. Let me repeat it. This is very important. Okay. So the same object can be seen by two different perceptions. Perception from distance, perception from close by. What is that perception known as from this distance? Conventional analysis. What is the perception known as close by? Ultimate analysis. So look, all say things which are seen by the conventional analysis is known as, things which are seen by conventional analysis are known as conventional truth. Things which are seen by the ultimate analysis is known as ultimate truth. You getting it? Okay. Let's say that okay, let us say, okay, let's say that I'm holding a yellow flower. Let's say I'm holding a yellow flower. And this group puts on blue glasses. And this group puts on red glasses. So I show this flower, which color? Yellow color. And I ask this group, what's the color of this flower? You will say it's green. And I ask this group, what is this the color of this? You will say it's orange color. You getting it? And I ask, are you sure it's orange color? You say, yes, 100%. I said, they're saying it's orange, it's green. You say, yes, 100%, they're wrong. We are right. Right? Two of you see the same object differently. Why? And I ask you, where is this green flower? I said, where is the green flower? You'll say, here. And I ask you, where is the orange flower? You'll say, it's here. You're getting it? Same flower, different flower. You say the same flower, but you perceive two different things. So where is this green flower and where is the orange flower? Where is that? It's coming from your mind. Don't say it's here. It's coming from the mind. You getting it? Here, there's no green, there's no blue, there's no orange. It's just the yellow flower. You getting it? So what you are seeing depends on your perception. What you are seeing depends on your perception. You're seeing is green is your perception. You're seeing is yellow, orange is your perception. So what you see from distance, the mind which sees things from distance is known as conventional truth. And the Bodhisattva Arideva, he says that, say, young girl or young boy, the same object can be seen by three different perceptions in three different ways. For example, young boy or young girl can be seen by, say, a lion as a delicious food, by a lustful person as object of desire, and by, let's say, the yogis who meditate on impurities of the beings. This is imbue back. You're getting the same object and seen in three different ways. So this is your perception. This is your perception. So this is an example given in 400 verses. So likewise, so what are you seeing as green, what are you seeing as orange is entirely your perception. So likewise, what are you seeing as a flower? And the scientists seeing there's a bunch of atoms. It's their perception. These perceptions are known as conventional analysis. And what you see closer by, that is known as ultimate analysis. So what conventional analysis sees is known as conventional truth. And what the ultimate analysis sees is known as ultimate truth. Same object can be seen by the two perceptions. Within the same object, there are two truths. So therefore, the Heart Sutra, which we read always, form is empty. It's the ultimate truth. Say, group A looks at this as a flower, group B looks at through electron microscope, no flower. So what you see as a physical form is what you see as a physical flower, what group B sees is empty of physical flower, empty, form is empty. So this is ultimate truth, because your mind is the ultimate analysis. And what group B sees as empty, I show this group A, this is a flower. So emptiness is form. Form is the conventional truth. And these two are we talking two different objects or one object? One object. Form is not different from the emptiness. And emptiness is not different from the form. You're getting it? It's the same object seen in two different ways. Which means from this what did you deduce? That is purely my subjective thought, subjective projection. So, like dream. Dream is purely subjective projection. Yes, no. Dream is purely subjective projection. So when you see dream as dream, when do you see dream as dream? In the dream or outside dream? Hey, wow, that's amazing. So Kalimpong, this says, all what I've never experienced before. I should have come to Kalimpong way earlier. Right? So people saying dream is dream, it happens in the dream. That's amazing. Yogis. Right? Okay. Priyanka, tell me. Seeing the dream as dream happens in the dream or outside dream? Wow. Are you from Kalimpong? Calcutta? Right? Bengal? Bengal people consider very smart. So you think dream is dream, it happens in the dream. That's amazing. Okay, in the dream you are scared or not scared? In the dream, tiger comes, Bengal tiger comes. Scared, not scared, in dream. In the dream. In the dream, you see you dream of tiger, Bengal tiger coming attack you. You are scared, not scared. Scared, which means you see the dream tiger is real tiger. That's amazing. Okay. Okay. Now I'm really confused. The world is different. So my teachings in Bengal should be different teaching. Yes, Leon. So which means in the dream, you cannot see the dream tiger as a real tiger. No. What I'm saying is exceptions are there. Keeping aside the exception. This is exception, please. Kalimpong's exception, please. You're getting it? So for Kalimpong, the exception is normal. Right. Okay, I want to check Vinay. Seeing the dream as dream happens when? In the dream or outside dream? Keeping the exception, other world's exception aside. No, this is not my question. My question is, seeing the dream as dream from the point of view of the other world, other part of the world, not a Kalimpong. From their point of view, seeing the dream as dream happens usually in the dream or outside dream. Okay, but Pringa is a different world. It happens in the dream, right? Okay, seeing the dream as dream happens outside the dream. Seeing the dream as real happens where? Inside dream, outside dream? Inside the dream. Seeing the dream tiger is real happens in the dream, therefore you have the fear in the dream. The moment you wake up, you come to see the dream tiger as a dream tiger, not as a real tiger, and therefore the fear dissolves. You're getting it? So when you say dream tiger is a dream tiger, meaning dream tiger is coming from the mind, not from the object, the fear dissolves. Okay, so with this in mind, we're talking about the ultimate analysis, convention analysis. And yes, there are many more to go, many more to study. We'll stop here. Okay. Teyata Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisattvas Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisattvas Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasamgate Bodhisattvas Swaha. Okay. Okay, 3 prostrations, and we'll have the next session. Is a very quick, short questions session. Then we'll follow with the soul offering. Soul offering will be very short. We'll do a very short soul offering, and then that concludes the retreat. 3 prostrations.